We're back, Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, along with Al Losi. I'm Dan Dyker. We've got a big race coming up at the Crosse Speedway this year. Matter of fact, we have two different divisions that'll be making a stop at the Speedway. We've got the Big 8 Series coming up here in a couple of weeks, but this Saturday, we have James Swan and gang coming from the Mid-American Series. Matter of fact, last week in the 50-lap Kim Parsons Memorial feature, I was at the Golden Sand Speedway, and Swan ended up winning that race. And interesting enough, they've got about 38 drivers on the list. Many of these drivers you've seen at Oktoberfest year after year. You've got the two sisters and a cousin coming out of the northern part of Wisconsin. And you got a nice points battle going on right now as James Swan won that race. Rookie Ryan Farrell won the very first race this week, so now they're both tied in the points. And if you look at some of the names that are going to be coming out here, of course, Lyle Nowak, Bill Preitzel, Tom McClintock, he's been around Crosse Speedway for many, many years. Crystal Wood, a gal that I used to announce at the 141 Speedway in Francis Creek years ago. Hopefully we get to see her out. Of course, Claire and Paige Decker and the entire gang. And this is going to be kind of an interesting race, as they're used to being here just Oktoberfest, but now this is an actual points race.
Yeah, Doug and Julie Strasberg, who run the Mid-Am Series, do an excellent job. They've got veteran drivers, and they've got some very young drivers. They come from all over. They come from North Dakota, they come from Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, as well as Wisconsin, of course, as it's based out of Wisconsin. And we follow them quite a bit, obviously, with Fans Arena being so involved with the Mid-Am Series, that it's just going to be excellent racing. Anybody who likes racing should get out there and watch this, because they race close. There's some hard action. They don't shy away from bumper to bumper.
Rick Tackman Jr., another name that's coming up here. You might remember last year, a couple of video shots we had. He worked quite a many weeks with Matt Inglet down in the pits at the La Crosse Speedway. So that's going to be coming up this weekend. Check out lacrossespeedway.com for more information on the Mid-American Series. And also, Doug Strasberg will be a guest on my AM 580 WK2I Race Report show. That'll be coming up this Saturday from 4 to 5. So we'll get you in depth with more of the Mid-American Series. Too bad we're not going to see the Outlaws back again. I'd like to see them mix it up with the Mid-Americans, but a couple of weeks off for our guest, and actually a pair of guests today. First, we'd like to introduce Steve Rusch. He was in the program last year, and his wife, Melissa, the only husband-wife team racing at the La Crosse Speedway. Steve coming off an outlaw weekend here in the number 51 car as Melissa kind of sat back and watched. How you doing?
Good.
Did they have you back this time? I like the white shirts, and she's not Kyle.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. She's not Kyle.
Well, first off, interesting enough to have a husband-wife team working at the racetrack. And then the big question people would always ask a husband-wife, how well do you get along away from the house and at the racetrack? Because Melissa's got a huge smile going on here.
We get along fine. I mean, I help set up the cars and make them go fast. She just drives them really quick.
Now, you both run out of the Hornet division. You run the 45, and you've been, how long have you been racing the 23 car?
I started racing at age 16, and then I just started 23 in 05.
Okay, you've had the 45 for how long?
This is my 8th year running, and in Hornets, it's been 45 the whole time.
Now, you were telling me the in-between breaks right there, there's a special reason why you have a different number on your Outlaw car. Tell us about that this year.
Yeah, I'm running the 51 on the Outlaw car. It's in remembrance of my dad, who passed away at 51, and he was pretty much an outlaw, so seems fitting to run 51 in it.
Now, you just came off running your very first Outlaw race this past weekend. What'd you think?
It's about time. I've been sitting in the race. I mean, I don't know if anybody has seen me down there, but I've been chomping at the bit to get in that car and actually race. So
well, you came out on the first practice night this year, and before the numbers were on, you just had the paint job done, I think, a day or two beforehand. Was it everything you expected it to be in that car?
We're still working it out.
I mean, obviously, if you look at the field, there were two straight outlaws of Jerry Ellsworth and Tim Steinhoff, and then yourself, and then some Thunderstock drivers that want to make it a huge field. I think we had, what, 8 cars in the entire field. I would suspect during the year you're going to see that dirt Ford truck that comes out every now and then, and you may see Roger Burrows come out there and the car with the plastic shield on the side, and so it gives you some time though to be able to make some adjustments off what you just did this past weekend.
Yeah, I've had that car since last year. We were going to plan on running it last year, and we just been having issue after issue, so I nicknamed it Demon, and we're getting over the issues and that, but it's still running.
And then in between racings, of course, they did a little thing called getting married.
Yeah. Like right before this race season too.
So. Put us behind in racing. We're still trying to catch up.
So what'd you do for a honeymoon?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Spent it in the garage.
That's what I was getting at. And a pizza, huh?
No, I had the opportunity of DJing their wedding, and I'd tell you it was a smaller, family, casual type atmosphere, and I appreciate you asking me to do that. It was a blast. It was just one of the sponsors they have this year is Rod's Ride on Power Sports, and in exchange for the sponsorship, they got those GoPro cameras. Oh, so you got Kyle Swinson walking around. And he's got you can't tell if he's videotaping you or not. And so the GoPros were going out, and thank goodness my dance scene has not shown up on Facebook yet.
Yeah, we've got it though. We've got it.
I'm gonna up there and rock the floor. I tell you what,
I bet you would.
Surprised them. I did. But it was neat because they had blue cakes. And instead of having the huge wedding cake, they had smaller ones with checker flags all the way around. I mean, that was, you talk about a racing type wedding reception, you guys had it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there
For
were
somebody who didn't want racing involved with it.
Yeah. So now with your moving up into the Outlaws, the Hornet now is an introductory series. It's inexpensive. It's built for everybody to get into. You can almost get in on a couple $100. The Outlaws is completely different. You could spend $100,000. Now, what's the difference? Is that making a change in how you're doing things?
A little bit. I mean, when I bought the car from Lake Geneva off of eBay, so we got that for like $17. And then we had to stick a motor in it because they didn't take care of the motor. So we got the whole top half of the other motor on basically a stock low end. So we're still working the kinks out. I got to put the 4-barrel back on it and see how it does.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to show you some video of Steve's first time out in the Outlaw car. And we'll have you guys back on later in the season because I definitely want to dig up some video of Melissa as well. She can run. She can run, and she likes to play bumper tag if you want to play bumper tag with her. She's not one of these feeble ones behind the wheel.
Nope.
No.
She'd scare me if I were up there as well. We're going to come back. Our guests are Steve and Melissa Rusch, only husband-wife team racing at the Crosse Speedway. Steve in a Hornet and an Outlaw, and Melissa running the Hornets again this year. This is Seven Rivers Racing here on KQEG TV.